What movement meant to Jacques Lecoq was life. It carries everything, every value we have. Each acceleration, each slowing down, each turn, each transition to the floor carries life.
Yeah, notice its tension. What kind of tension does it have?
Here, in an old gymnasium in Paris, a group of students are learning how to fall to the ground, like a sheet of paper. This is just one of many movements they'll be learning during 2 years' training at the prestigious Jacques Lecoq International School of Theatre.
Oui, vous allez quelque part. Oui, voilà, c'est ça.
They come here to learn the movement techniques created by one of the greatest mime teachers of all time, the late Jacques Lecoq.
He does not teach you to move. He teaches you to look and to see movement. A certain Zen master said, you know, when I point at the moon, do you see the moon or do you see my hand? So, do you look at my hand or do you look at the moon? Where is the extension, the direction, the poetry behind the gesture?
When draconian laws in 18th century France banned spoken drama outside of the state theatre, mime groups began to spring up in protest. The white-faced Marcel Marceau later popularized the genre in the 1950s. But for Jacques Lecoq, this precise and codified language was dead. For him, mime wasn't a substitute for words, but the essential body language of theatre.
Tout de suite, sentez bien la différence dans votre corps. Comment je structure, je fais l'économie du mouvement.
The basis of the school is really looking at what we could call the mimetic aspect of humanity. How, in looking at something, the body reacts. How, when we see a tree, how does the body reflect that somewhere?
The interesting thing about mime, it was to imitate the nature. For example, when Marcel Marceau is drawing a flower, he's drawing a flower like this, so he's making line. But my father said, now we're going to be the flower.
At the Lecoq School, the journey begins with the neutral mask. When the face is a blank slate, the body can be more open and experience the world as if for the first time.
Dans le travail du masque, il n'y a pas de psychologie. C'est la mère qui la pousse. C'est pas elle qui pousse la mère. Je suis dans la mer et c'est la mer qui me bouge. Et parce que la mer me bouge, on voit la mer. Mais je n'imite pas la mer. Je suis la mer.
Should we try a building together? Let's try a space together. Le Grand Palais?
Objects offer an infinite source of inspiration for actors to create characters. Everything from shapes to colours to materials can evoke an emotion that can be turned into motion. The essential lesson, as Lecoq saw it, was that tout bouge, everything moves.
We talk of architecture as frozen music. It is not because it moves that we are moved.
Respond, as a child would do, respond to these three colors. You say, okay, if I do what this color does to me, do it, straight away.
It's where the imagination of a student can really happen. I said red, and they do a movement. We see that the red, for example, usually it's more small. And when you say blue, it's really more big.
Theatre begins in silence. Whatever is said on stage, it's the body language that matters most.
I think movement is really our primary language. It's what we understand. We say the body never lies. It's what we believe when people tell us things. We react a lot more to their physical presence than actually what they say. With words, we lie very well.
Quand je suis avec quelqu'un que je ne connais pas, je ne parle pas avec lui. Il y a un temps de silence, et dans ce temps de silence, il se passe plein de choses. Des regards, des attitudes. Il se passe toute cette chose silencieuse qui est le théâtre. Et c'est ça la grande leçon du théâtre de Jacques. Qu'est-ce qui n'est pas écrit? Qu'est-ce qui est invisible?
Actors will always need lines to say, but theatre will always explore what happens between them during the silences.
when he was asked, why do you insist so much on movement? He said, well, because later in life we only have the memory of it. So as long as you're young and you can move, move!